Donald Trump went on 60 Minutes and was shocked, I tell you, to find out that immigrants and people of color were facing fear at the hands of the prospect of a new Trump regime. So here is the first quote when he told protesters that they should not be scared.
Demonstrating against you, against your rhetoric.
That's only because they don't know me. I really believe that. That's only because
they listened to you in the campaign, and that's...
I just don't think they know me.
What do you think they're demonstrating against?
Well, I think in some cases you have professional protesters, and we had it. If you look at WikiLeaks,
you think those people down there are?
Well, Lesley, yeah,
professional?
I think some of them will be professional.
Okay,
yeah, look,
but what about? They're in every city. When they demonstrate against you, and there are signs out there, I mean, don't you say to yourself? I guess you don't. You know, do I have to worry about this? Do I have to go out and assuage them? Do I have to tell them not to be afraid? They're afraid.
I would tell them, don't be afraid. Absolutely.
But that's not what you're saying. I said it.
Oh, I think, no, I think I'm saying it. I've been saying it.
Okay.
Don't be afraid. We are going to bring our country back. But certainly don't be afraid.
Trump's also surprised to discover that some protesters are being attacked by Trump supporters, and here is his message for those people.
I'm very surprised to hear that.
You're telling Muslims?
I hate to hear that. I mean, I hate to hear it.
But you do hear it.
I don't hear it. I saw one or two instances.
On social media?
But I think it's a very small amount. Again, I think it's the
media.
media.
Do you want to say anything to those people?
I would say don't do it. That's terrible. Because I'm going to bring this country together.
They're harassing Latinos, Muslims.
I am so saddened to hear that. And I say stop it if it helps. I will say this, and I'll say it right to the camera, stop it.
Okay.
That'll do it.
It's done.
So I just spent 9 months telling people to beat the shit out of him, and now I'm going to go...
He's solving problems. He's not even president yet. It's unbelievable. This guy's amazing.
He cares. You can tell it comes
America's
right out
great
of him.
again.
America's already great.
Yeah.
So this seems like how he's coming to terms with using his position
but
to
let's
turn
just
to
get
people.
to the point that he's using his position. He doesn't even know what's happening.
Yeah.
How in the world can you be in this country and not know that these riots and these assaults and offenses are happening? I mean, it's unbelievable.
He does know, right? You can't assume that he doesn't know. This is what his
my first inclination was to think that, right?
His
he
instinctive
definitely knows.
rhetorical strategy is to say, listen, I didn't know it was broken, but now I'm going to fix it. Of course
Right.
he knew it was broken. He's got to have known it was broken.
But there's something about watching him there that I thought, he really doesn't know. Like, he doesn't know this is going on. He's so fucking ignorant that he doesn't know what's going on. But maybe...
Well, if they gave him his Twitter account back, which is nice to know that they took his... somebody made the point, they took his Twitter account away, but they gave him the nuclear codes.
which is also 140 characters long.
Yeah, right.
It really hurts. It really hurts. I don't know what to do right now. This is the feeling I get once every 21 hours.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And it could be in the middle of the night, but it's just I don't know how to react. My body starts convulsing.
Right.
Mr. President, I'm going to need your cell phone with the Twitter account. And by the way, here's the nuclear football.
Yeah.
Last weekend I spoke to or last week when I was on the road with the Trump thing, I spoke to a voter in North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, and she didn't like Hillary Clinton. She's a Republican, but she wasn't going to vote for Trump, and she said, I can't in this state vote for Gary Johnson because I just can't do it. I've said Johnson all along, but the one thing I can say about Hillary Clinton is she's competent. She won't do the job I want her to do, but she'll be, she'll know what she's doing, right? And then you see this interview. And then that's what it's all about, right? I mean, that's what you look back and you see this. Yes, there's not competence for this job being exuded, at least not yet.
He's terrified of Lesley Stahl.
Right.
He doesn't know what to do.
In fairness, a lot of people are terrified of Lesley Stahl.
But that's the thing is she's like, this isn't my first rodeo. Right, yeah. It's yours. Welcome to 60 Minutes, and you can't say that crazy left-wing idiots watch this. So this is 60 Minutes. This is the last bastion of folks like me who ask you real questions.
Right.
So 36% of Hispanics voted for Donald Trump?
Something like that.
It was some crazy big number, right?
It's less than that. It's less than
29?
that. I was in the 20s, I believe.
Okay.
20s. But in any case...
were those Cubans?
Well, no,
Not all of them.
No, because Cubans are a very, very small number
Okay.
of Hispanic
So what's your
Americans.
thought? Do you have a theory on that? I have a theory.
Well, okay, here are two questions. One is, why do we trust these numbers if we didn't trust if the numbers before the election
Because
were
these
so
would be
bad?
exit
These are
poll
hard
numbers, right?
hard exit poll numbers, right?
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing is that these are hard exit polls. But are they sampling properly, or are they in the right places?
I know some Hispanics who voted Trump.
Do you?
And
I mean, I see some at rallies.
It was that we had to overturn the dynasty. We got to get rid of. I don't want to see a Bush. I don't want to see a Clinton. We got to get a fresh start. That's what it was.
A lot of them also have resentment for people who came into the country differently than they came into the country. So there's a lot of that. The numbers were much higher than I expected, if they're accurate. And I don't know what the answer to that is, other than just appealing to the celebrity of Donald Trump, which I think is an intangible that nobody really kind of was able to put their arms around.
right, and maybe no matter what race, creed, color, if someone resonates with you on the we're going to bring the jobs back, then
Right.
maybe you just hear that in the same way that folks are able to forget a lot of other stuff.
Also, some people identify as Hispanic 3-4 generations in, and it's a little different than 1 or 2 generations in. And I think I think there's probably a huge divide at that point.
And she was overly religious, the people I'm talking about. Imagine if after 8 years of Ronald Reagan, they instead of running George Herbert Walker Bush, they ran Gerald Ford.
Yeah,
Right. That's amazing.
right.
Because that's kind of what we did here.
Yeah. We ran a loser.
Yeah, we reached back to somebody who was in power once before.
She won elections since.
They talked about anyway. Again, the Clinton thing. I don't have as big a there are all sorts of words for what I am that I didn't know before this election. Apologist, shill, what there are other ones. How about supporter? I'm comfortable with that. But I do think that you hit on something really important there, which is the religious aspect. And with Hispanics, definitely, I think the religious and the socially conservative religious part of it had to appeal to some of them, church-going people.